This is the plaintiff, Richard Moore. He says his neighbor, the defendants, allowed their teenage son to have a party one night, and some of the teens spilled out of the house at 11 p.m. and into his front yard where they caused damage. That's right, these foolish kids thought it would be a good idea to throw rocks at one another, and one of them broke her front window. The defendants took responsibility and told the cops they'd take care of the damages, but haven't, so here they are. He's suing for $900, the amount owed for the window and loss of work. These are the defendants, Nicholas, Nasir, and Brashawn Mobley. Nicholas says his kids didn't break any window, and the incident occurred after the party was over. He was willing to help out the investigation in any way he could, and he did indeed find out who the culprit was. But the plaintiff went ahead and sued him anyway. Bottom line, he doesn't know why the plaintiff's blaming him, and he's not paying for something neither he nor his kids did. He's accused of letting a party get out of control.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiffs say that his neighbors allowed their teenage son to throw a party and some of the hooligans broke his window. But the defendants say no one from the party threw the rock through the window, but he knows who did. It's the case of You Rock My World.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome in.
Richard Moore, you are suing Nicholas, Nasir, and Brashawn Mobley for $900, the amount owed to fix a window and time lost from work to try to resolve this. Tell me what happened. You're Nicholas?
I am.
You are?
Brashawn.
And you are?
Nasir.
And you are his son, her son also?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, on the night of July 27th, around 11:30 p.m., I received a phone call from my daughter. I was just a few minutes away from home saying that a group of kids were outside throwing rocks and a rock had went through the window. She was there with the police, and they needed me to come right home. So upon getting there, I spoke with the officer that was there. She said she had just left Mr. Mobley's house, where the teens that were involved in the rock throwing incident, Mr. Mobley said that he would take care of the damages that were...
Wait, back it up. Where's your daughter?
My daughter's right here.
Come on up. Tell me what happens.
I was home.
And you're how old?
I'm 24.
Okay.
I was home and I looked out the window. I just heard kids. They were kind of loud. It was
And
late.
it was what time of night?
This was about midnight.
Okay.
So I heard the kids. Eventually, about 5 minutes later, the window shatters. The dog barks. There was a rock in the living room. So once I heard the kids still laughing, I kind of figured that it was safe for me to go out. So I just ran out and I saw the kids dashing away. Okay. So I just got into my car.
And you followed them?
And I followed the kids as I was calling the police.
Oh my gosh. Did the kids know you were following them?
They did.
What happened? They're running and you're speeding?
They're running and I'm speeding.
And speeding up. And then what happened?
I just told the police, hey, I'm on 142nd Street. These kids just crashed my parents' front window.
How many kids were there?
It was about 15.
Oh, there were 15 kids that you were chasing in the car?
Yes.
Wow. I don't know if I like the idea of you chasing them. I'm impressed, but I'm not sure. It's like, what if,
I was kind of pleased.
I mean, they were how old? How old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
Oh, I'd chase the 14-year-olds. All right.
Yeah.
Although you just never know. But anyway, so what happens? The police get there.
The police get there and they said that they had 3 of the kids and they told me to just go back to the house. So that's when I just called my dad and told him what happened. And the police officer met me in front of my parents' house.
And told you what? By then you come.
Right, by then I'm there and I speak with the officer that took the report and that spoke with Mr. Mobley. She told me that there was a party that the Mobleys were hosting for their child and that he explained to them, well, actually, she was going to give him a ticket for allowing the kids to be out after curfew because they were all...
In your town, there's a curfew at what time?
10:30. She said that in agreement, because Mr. Mobley said that he would take care of all the damages that were caused by these minors, that there would be no tickets issued and that she would take none of the...
Who was she going to issue a ticket to?
She was going to issue a ticket to Mr. Mobley for...
Because what kids were out after
Because
curfew?
the kids that were
His
at
own
the parties...
Kids?
Well, I can only assume.
Where do you get the information you're saying? The officer told you that night?
I spoke with the officer personally. This is what she told me.
Is there a report the officer filled out?
Yes, I do have a copy of the report.
Let me see the report. What's going on, Mr. Mobley?
On the evening, how you doing, Judge? On the evening in question, we had a party for my sons. They have a rap group, a couple other kids from the neighborhood. So all the kids were hanging out. At approximately 11 p.m., we ended the party. I'd say maybe 30 minutes later, the police came. So I see them with them, and I say, well, what's the problem?
He's a twin?
Yeah, he's a twin. His brother.
Okay, so when you say they, you mean the twins? You asked them, did you guys break a window?
Yes. I asked them, did they break a window? They said no.
What do these kids do? Why don't I ask you, rather than putting your father on the spot like this? What were you kids up to, laughing, throwing rocks at each other, and ending up breaking somebody's window?
I didn't break a window. I didn't walk with the group. I walked with my friend to Shepherd.
Okay, what kids were in the group?
I don't know their names, but
they were at your party. Of course you know their name.
Yeah, they were walking towards.
I didn't ask were they flying or walking. I asked what were their names.
So the defendants let the son throw a party, and somebody at the party maybe threw the rock. Is the defendant responsible to the plaintiff for the window?
I would say yes, because if you allowed your son or daughter to throw a party and it's foreseeable that someone would throw something through.
Stop. That's the question. Is it really foreseeable that somebody's going to throw a rock? That's the question. Is it foreseeable?
No, I disagree. I think the thrower of the rock is the one who's responsible.
The thrower. Is the homeowner responsible?
No, I think the thrower is responsible.
I love that we've created this new word, the throw. The throw up is responsible, going inside the courtroom.
Who got to the bottom of it? Yeah, switch with your mom. Okay.
No, you
You can stay there.
You can stay.
Okay, so how'd you find out?
Okay, so I called Mr. Moore and I talked to him. I asked him if he could give me a couple of days to find out what happened. I explained to him that my twins didn't do it. I was for sure that they did not break his window. He agreed. He said, that he would give me a couple of days. I then started investigating. I went around asking kids, had my twins to ask kids as well, and we came up with the person who did it. I talked to the kid's mom.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, she said, I already know what happened. I take full responsibility. She wrote a letter.
Really?
The thing is,
did you tell him all that?
I actually left him a voicemail message, but I think it wasn't in a timely fashion for him when I did leave the voicemail stating that I got in touch, with the mother. And the thing with her...
What do you mean it wasn't in a timely fashion?
Because remember, I talked to him the day after the party. That's when I talked to him. And I asked him,
July,
could he give
August, September. Yeah, it's 2 months later. My son and his friends... Welcome from a party. There was horse playing. My son accidentally broke a window. When I was...
But I actually
agreed I would take responsibility. No, agreeing to take responsibility means you pick up the phone, you call Mr. Moore, and you tell him I understand my kid did wrong by you, and you work out a payment plan. You don't say something to you, and then you say nothing to him, and then that's how you end up getting sued.
And exactly.
Your Honor, when I spoke with Mr. Mobley on Sunday morning, and he was very sympathetic. He's like, hey, I'm sorry for what happened. I spoke with the police. I did say that I was going to be held responsible for the damages to your window. How about I come over to your place and see the window? Give me about an hour or so.
Okay, that happened?
Not at all.
I
told the police officer...
Do you have a police report where it says...
Yes, I do.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is a police report. Hold on 1 second. Okay. And it clearly says here in the police report that you told the police that you would take full responsibility.
They wanted me to take that responsibility. And like I told him, I gave him my number and said I would find out.
Well, Your Honor, when I spoke with...
Here's the thing. No, I'm going to assume that he told the police I'll take care of it. What you have to understand is that that's not the be-all, end-all. I know how people always think, well, he said he'd take care of it. He's got to take care of it now. But you're in a pretty lucky situation. I'm handing this to you. This is going home with you.
Okay.
Where you'll be able to sue the appropriate party. So, to cover all your bases, you sue this child and you sue that child's parent. Who's sitting here writing a confession, right? This is the confession she wrote for your behalf to get you out of your problem here today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So based on the facts of this case, I can't hold them responsible. I rule in favor of the defendant, but I'm sure there'll be a part 2 to this one. Good luck, okay?
Thank
you, listen, okay? Tell your renegade daughter to stay inside the house. It's kind of crazy. You don't know if they had rocks still in their pocket. They're going to turn around and peg a rock at you or something. I mean, it's just a window at the end. She's worth a lot more than $480.
Yeah.
I'll say. All right. Good luck, folks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
All right, so under these circumstances, the judge cannot rule in your favor, and you understand why according to the law, right?
Well, I understand. I was a little disappointed. I felt that it showed a lot of negligence on his part as far as not being in control of the minors that was at his party. But
it's a different issue than who broke the window. And so what are you going to do from here?
I'm going to take the information that's provided to me and I'm going to take it up with that parent.
All right, right down this way.
Sir, ma'am.
And so you come on in here and tell me you set aside how this comes out?
Well, I'm pleased with the verdict. My son, from day one, said he didn't break the window, and when we came to the bottom of it, we tried to do what any responsible parent would do and make sure that the things would be handled. I'm a homeowner as well, so I can understand how Mr. Moore would feel. But again, you know, my children didn't break the window, and I don't feel I should be held responsible.
Okay. Harvey?
So the bottom line here is that the defendant didn't throw the rock, the kid didn't throw the rock, and they're not responsible if somebody inside the party does some jerky thing. However, if, for example, that the person who threw the rock got really drunk in the party and the defendant just kept plying him with alcohol and plying him with alcohol, and the guy was threatening and being just out of control and plying him with alcohol, situation might be a little bit different.